Very excited about this panel. I think it's the first time I've actually gotten to do a panel like this, where it is all the parentals. And I know that there are a lot of parents here with their kids, so I'm excited to dive into a few things. Without further ado, we're going to bring them on stage now. We've got beautiful Sara. Get over here. She's wearing a really cute shirt. She's going to tell you about it. Look at that. What a friend she is. If you guys don't know, this is some of Kayla's merch. Where is it in the back? The merch? Yeah.
And Trevino's on here too.
And Trevino.
So
I got to plug Trevino yesterday. I didn't get to plug Kayla.
We're plugging Kayla right now.
Yeah. We love Kayla. Everyone loves Kayla. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Next we have a woman that I find is so amazing and so deep, and her soul runs deep, and her name is Mia. Get up here! She came in from Canada, right?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
I'm so happy.
We have more Canadians on stage right now.
Back-to-back Canadians.
It will quickly change.
Sarah, I like your socks.
Thank you.
Did you know that they go with your shirt?
I did. Well, I just got this shirt, so it was a happy accident.
You always do that. You always look so cute.
Thank you. So do you. It's Kayla.
Okay, sorry, we gotta get back to this. Okay. Next we've got Matt. Get up here. Here he is. Next, David, get on up here.
Woo! David Evers!
This guy. Melinda, get on up here. And last but not least, one of the sweetest souls of all time, Marguerite, get up here. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a big panel. Everyone's already having their own conversations. I know. Melinda's doing video. You want to get the audience? I love it. Yes. Awesome. Okay, how's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Good.
Hello.
Melinda and Mia, you all just got here, right?
I got here yesterday and went to Target.
We don't have Target anymore in Canada.
They took it away, and I love Target so much.
Wait, just put it up to your mouth.
Oh,
There she is.
put it up to my mouth. I've heard that before.
And that's why I love Mia. That's right. So, okay, since you threw that out there, let's just throw into your parental guidance. Since this is the parental
Right.
panel.
Apologies.
Oh, that's what this is.
That's what this
I
is.
have kids?
Yeah, welcome.
No.
Welcome. Yes. So, just a quick, easy, off the cuff question. What is everyone's favorite holiday tradition? You can just jump in, whoever wants to. We're starting off light and fun. This convention's called I Was Feeling Festive, you know.
Watching a Christmas Story for 24 hours straight on Christmas Eve, I don't know, and not cook.
Oh, I was going to say cooking sticky toffee pudding.
Well, that's what you were going to say. But
That's what I was going to say. And not watching A Christmas Story 24 hours.
That's funny.
I personally like the Polar Express. I think that's a good one.
That's a great one. No one's mentioned that yet. I love that.
I like all those. I like every Christmas movie. They could be on a loop. I don't really pay attention. I'm baking, but my favorite thing is really boring, but it's decorating the tree. Like I just remember who gave this ornament and where this came from. So it always feels like it's good. I like the memory of that. I like what that is.
You know, I like it when you remember who broke that one and you put it up on the tree and you're like, you remember when you broke that because you were drunk? Oh, okay.
That's funny. Who are you talking to when you say that?
Oh,
Because there was someone in mind.
It's a niece. She knows who it is.
Okay. My friend actually has a really funny or great tradition where she sends their Christmas card she sends every year is a funny picture of them cut out on a Christmas card that she makes of a tree. So it's like a funny picture that she'll find. So every year you look forward to like what weird face am I gonna be that she's making every year. It's really sweet.
I celebrate Hanukkah, and traditionally Hanukkah celebrations are a little muted compared to Christmas. So I grew up every year I try to figure out how to make Hanukkah as festive as Christmas, which I'm still
I
trying.
love that. Do you have a specific Hanukkah tradition that you love?
I love decorate. I'll decorate anything. So it's the decorating of the house for Hanukkah.
Mine is I don't get to do it every year, but if I'm at home where I grew up, my dad and I skate on a pond in the woods. Of course.
What?
Come on!
I
That
know,
sounds
I know.
dangerous.
Come
on,
If
kid.
I
you
know, it's
didn't love
ridiculous.
Sarah enough
It's
before,
alright.
if you don't love her now, there's something
Alright,
wrong
we had
with
our
you.
answers, and then you.
I know, I was like, I don't even want to
You
say it.
swipper
because it's
wet jet them
so-
all away.
I know,
with
it's so earnest, it's so like ridiculous.
That's
But I love it.
amazing. I
It's
want
my
to
favorite
visit
thing.
you.
Come visit, and it's frozen. We make sure it's
that.
solid.
We
I won't
gotta
figure out risk.
we gotta film some version of it.
Yes.
I have a 3-picture deal with Hallmark.
Perfect.
We start next week.
Middle of nowhere, Newfoundland. Here we come.
That's right.
Sarah with
That's right.
Hallmark in tow.
That's amazing. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into some TBD stuff. So this is the parental panel, and I'm curious, like, as we know, this show has transcended fan audiences. You know, there's adult and kids alike that love this show for various reasons. So I'm curious if there was ever a scene that you read in where you were like, oh, I'm glad people are going to get to see this, or I'm glad that I get to pass this message on, knowing the kind of audience that you were making this television for.
I know, we just literally had this conversation.
You did?
Just 10 minutes ago.
That's amazing.
And I think I've said this before, it's that a lot of people died on the show over all those seasons, and the idea that death was a little bit cheap, it was a little facile, and then you have this very, very human death that sometimes very powerful people can't change a situation where there's no solution and there has to be acceptance. And I felt like that was very, very important. And I remember, it was beautifully, beautifully written. I mean, these guys did a great, great job with that whole arc. And I just remember how many people responded to me who had been through something similar. A lot of young people who had that, older people now who are rewatching it on Netflix. It's just, I feel like so many people responded to that. And just the kind of, there was so much love going into that person's passing. And I just think it moved a lot of people. And I love doing it.
I was just saying, I hadn't seen Marguerite since, the first time we shot. And just a few months back, maybe in the summertime, I started watching the show because I really hadn't seen much more than what I'd done. But because I was interviewing Candace actually for a podcast, and I tried to ingest the entire series in a week. And I was absolutely so blown away and so moved, especially by the Caroline and the mother-daughter story and the way they handled the death scene. And I was kind of contemplating like why shows like this are so popular and how they resonate, because you have to accept the supernatural and the suspension of disbelief. And I realized that so much of the show was grounded in such realistic situations. And I just had so many personal moments that moved me with the mother-daughter story. So, but personally, I think the best example that I could put as a parent was the making out with Tyler, so that my daughter, Gigi, you guys might know her, she's really learned from that one.
Woo! That's amazing. I love it.
Oh, wait, then there was Damon too, and then there was that guy at the bar, and then there was
It sounds like I would have hung out with you.
The working title of the Vampire Diaries, I know it's based on other things, was Vampires and Wolves Kissing in the Rain. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's why it was called the Vampire Diaries. Matt?
No, I'm not helping you on that one. What was the question? Because I was trying to. Where are we here?
Since you play a parent on the show, and knowing that the audience, there was such a wide range of like both children and parents watching the show, was there ever a scene that surprised you when you were reading the script where you're like, oh wow, I'm actually really
Gotcha.
glad we're approaching this topic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can answer that question, but what is coming up for me now is thematically like how terrible Clarke was as a parent. Just generally speaking.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah, no, he was fairly irresponsible. You know, I would say don't parent like Clarke. Maybe.
Okay.
That's more of a
Wow.
legacies reference than anything.
Okay.
I think some of these parents are kind of the example of for you guys at home to go, thank God my parents aren't like that. Don't you think?
Yes.
Examples come in many forms. Yeah. Mia, what about you?
Oh.
Mia and myself, we parented the shit out of
Yes, we were.
Melinda, didn't we?
We were the parents of the year.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Like
Obviously.
medals, blue ribbons, it was a
Yes,
whole
we were on the.
cavalcade.
There was a whole. Actually, this was cut
yeah.
out, but a whole backstory of us joining the PTA,
Yeah.
and I ran for council.
HGTV came to us. They
Yeah.
wanted to make a show
Yeah,
about it. They're like, we
absolutely.
already got a fictional show about it.
A design show.
Yeah.
You guys don't know about this. So this was
You
a
heard
whole
it here
thing-
first.
Yeah, a whole thing that was shot.
I am going to say, I don't know that Jenna was the best parent either, but I shot a scene with Nina that was, I believe, after finding out about vampires, when Jenna finds out there's such thing as vampires. But it was interesting because there was a lot of emotional turmoil in the scene, and it was kind of cool because it felt like it was, even though we were talking about how could you keep this crazy secret from me, like that it was actually more about feeling that there'd been a failure in protecting Elena, and she sort of becomes the comforter, and I just think it's interesting because I'm sure most of the adults in this room have felt moments when they feel they're stepping into the parent role for the first time with their own parents. I don't know. So I feel like it kind of mirrored that a little bit of Elena having to kind of step up and deal with something really tricky, and Jenna feeling like, oh, I've like lost all control here. And that the finding out about vampires could actually be a metaphor for any number of crazy things that happen in our world to kids these days.
Definitely. And yes, absolutely. And touching on role models for a minute, I had something interesting come up in one of my meet and greets this morning that hasn't really before, and it was talking about body image, body shaming, eating disorders, and I was saying, sometimes I get comments on Instagram about how I used to look back then versus now, without people remembering how much time has gone by.
Amazing now.
And that some. But how is that?
Yes, why?
You're gonna make me cry. Aww. Well, what I was. What I was gonna say was something I've never really talked about. That I did talk about this morning was I had a severe eating disorder when I started the show. And that's not why I'm talking about this, actually, but thank you. But no one knew, and that's fine. I'd never talked about it. But it came up this morning, and I was surprised, so I wanted to honor that and carry it forward. And something I actually thought about when I left was Mia, because I felt she was really vulnerable. I don't know if anyone was here when she was here in April, but talked about her experience with body image and things she went through. And again, this being the parental panel, I wanted to offer an opportunity for anyone to share, starting with Mia, but if you've been through body stuff or body image on either side, what that's been like for you. And again, I feel like you all, it's such a special panel because we still look up to you today, and you are still setting an example, and I just wanted to open up the conversation to that for whoever wants to share.
Well, I think it's really brave that you talked about it here. I mean, it's the last time I was here, I began to talk about it, but I did not have a good experience doing the show in terms of the amount of body shaming behind the scenes, and it was awful. It was, and also inappropriate considering the audience. There was nothing wrong with my body, but the ideal and the weight that I was supposed to be. My manager asked how my fitness levels were. I guess he had received feedback that I guess I was a little heavier. I was, and I don't give a shit because you know what? I mean, I just feel like
we're working for a tough network.
It's a tough network, and at the time
It was a different time, you know, and there's things going on behind the scenes.
But I do feel that in looking back at that experience, the toxicity for young women and young men watching the show, and these expectations on your body to make your body into a way is to starve your body to look like you don't have breasts or hips and to fit into this stuff. It was inappropriate, and it really messed with my head actually after that. I sort of, I had never had that experience, but it really colored the experience and for me, so.
Yes, we do love you.
I remember one day I was wearing a top. It was the scene with, somebody can tell me what happens in this scene. It's the scene with Ian Somerhalder's character where I kind of seduce him. Can somebody talk about what scene is that? Can somebody?
Every scene.
And he loved it.
What scene was it though, specifically? In the house? What? Here, speak into the mic.
Someone was saying it with a lot of conviction back there.
Come. Buy now, sell later. Buy now, sell later.
Well, you had just made out with Tyler, and you were really upset. Well, Matt was really upset that you had just made out with Tyler. So,
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wrong person. I'm so sorry.
Why are all of the parents making out with Tyler?
Never mind. What she was making out with Tyler. Wrong person.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Okay, well, anyways, but what is the... What? Foreclosure.
Foreclosure.
Okay, that's her mic. Yeah, okay.
Survey says correct.
So I was wearing a top in the scene that became a problem for the people behind the camera because my fat rolls in my back were showing. So literally in between takes, they were taking me to the washroom to rejig what I was wearing so the fat rolls would be hidden. And I don't recall if the shirt was replaced, but whatever I was wearing, you could see my back, and they just didn't want that on camera. And I don't actually think a lot has changed in terms of the climate. I still think that it's pretty shitty out there for real women's bodies, but anyway. But I think this show, I love that how many people the show has given joy to. And in spite of what I've said, I don't want to take away from how the show has been a part of your life and growing up. So there you go.
Yeah, it's more about the personal journey.
I can't speak to a network coming down on my own body dysmorphia, causing it. with Vampire Diaries, I mean, I only did 15 episodes. I don't even know I'm fucking up here with these people. I originally auditioned for the guy who just rubbed my shoulder. That part.
That was a sympathy rub.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that didn't work out. And then Julie and Kev, they offered me Uncle John, Papa John. Who wants pizza?
There's your merch.
Yeah. But I can say, so the shows later, I did a show called I Zombie, where I looked like Billy Allen. Goddamn right! You're goddamn right! And after we did the pilot episode, I was like, I look fat as fuck. And I lost 40 pounds, and I got to set for the second episode, and everybody, the creators were like, where did you go? And I was like, I'm eating like an almond a day. I want him to be real like sinewy and like see-through. I'm a zombie, right? And I'm the bad guy. He's like, yeah, David, but you can barely stand up. I was like, yeah, that's it. It was like Christian Bale and the Machinist. And we got through that season. I lived. I'm here today. And then the next season, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be sinewy. Then I did steroids. I got all bulked up and like very few shirtless scenes. I looked great in the mirror. Everybody loved how I looked with my shirt off, but they never wrote for shirtless Anders or Blaine. And to me, this is serious. My neck on camera looked too big to my eyes. I might have looked great to everybody else, but to mine own eyes, I looked fucking. Something was wrong. And I literally have nothing more to say on that. But body dysmorphia is a real thing, and it affects everybody. And just love yourself.
Yes.
Just love who you see. Love who you see.
I want to say just one quick thing, because I'm probably the oldest person up here, and I came up in the era where all the girls had like no thigh flesh. Like literally it was those legs where there was no flesh. When they would stand up, you're like, they're sticking out. I was like, I'm kind of sporty. I got a lot going on.
Me too, girl.
I got some fun. So it was kind of a thing, and I remember getting those notes, oh, sorry, you didn't get the role because this, that, and the other. And it was so frustrating and so annoying because I looked like a person in the world. I mean, why can't looking like a person in the world, playing a person in the world, be appropriate? Thank God, I do think things slowly, and not everyone's doing it, but things slowly are changing. But part of it is you guys. You guys supporting stuff that has people who look not, some weird traditional value of perfect is really important. You guys supporting those actors, you guys supporting those stories, those shows. Be loud about what you want to see, and you will see it. So keep supporting all of us, reflecting each other authentically, and not some weird version of race, creed, color, size. All of us should be represented in everything that you see. So be loud about what you want to see, and you will grow up.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's important that women share. It's important that men share. So thank you all for sharing, and keep the conversation going. Let's lighten the mood, shall we? But that was important. Yeah. So, this is heavy, but not really. We came out of a strike. That's a big deal, also heavy. But I know that we all kind of turned to other things during the strike, supporting our union, but also kind of turning to either charities or other creative outlets, and people took on hobbies they haven't before. And I just wanted oh, by the way, start lining up, please. We're going to throw it to audience questions shortly, so go ahead and do that. And just is there any hobby, or I know, Melinda, we were talking and you said you might do another podcast, is that right? Can we talk about that? And anyone else that wants to share maybe something new that's come in their life?
Woodworking, and I volunteered at Humane Society because I love animals so much.
Wait, Mia, woodwork is it woodworking? And
Woodwork, yeah.
What have you made recently?
what's the name?
A table. I've made shelves, a couple tables, shelves.
Do you have
little
your own
boxes.
setup at home?
Yeah.
You do?
I
Oh,
have my own studio, my own shop.
wow. Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm bad. I'm not good.
Do you have
I am woodworking.
how many lathes do you have?
I do not own a lathe
Oh,
yet
God damn it.
because I feel that
Let's get
problem
Nick
with
Offerman over to
wood-
your house stat.
the problem with woodworking is you need so many tools, and the tools are expensive. So
Yeah.
my projects are planned around the tools that I have, and when I feel like I'm good enough, then I'll get the next.
Okay, well, we look
This is
forward.
part
I
of the
want
crossover show of the
Yeah.
HGTV.
Yeah.
I want updates on that. Melinda, can you give us a snippet of a potential podcast?
Well, I don't know if some of you know, Rachel Bilson and I did a podcast about the OC. Yeah, that was super fun. I learned a lot. It was great to reconnect with people. And when that ended, it was like, oh my gosh, for the first time in my life, I don't have anything going on. I don't have a child to take care of. And I'm going to go, anyway, strike happened. But, and then I was doing another podcast with CG, and I was talking to people that I'd worked with and talking about I interviewed Candace and Kayla, and I was working my way down the line of interviewing everybody I've ever worked with, and then the strike happened, and we couldn't talk about anything. No film, no television, nothing. But then it just came back to me that the feed where the OC, Welcome to the OC Bitches was on, that people might still want to hear more. So I'm going to continue that feed, and it's going to be called Beyond the OC. And we'll talk a little bit about the OC, but I'm going to continue that tradition of talking to actors and people I've worked with, and just exploring and celebrating their work. And so look for that, called Beyond the OC. It's fun to do. I like to talk.
Yeah,
Mindy Mouth.
as you were talking, I was like, California.
Yeah. Oh, there's a book that just came out, and woo! If you guys, any of you watch the OC, it's actually a really, really mature and honest revelation about the behind. I was gonna say, just listening to everyone up here and what we do for work, you guys get about 42 minutes of film, and there's this whole life and whole world that goes beyond 200 people behind the scenes, and the stories are real and they're rich, and it can be, it's similar to any industry in the world of people collectively coming together to get something done, to provide a product and entertainment and be of service. And I just think it's really wonderful that everyone's talking about what's really going on behind the scenes, because the quality of life can be challenging on shows like this. And I just applaud everyone for for being way more honest, I think, than I've ever heard in the past. I think there's a trend towards that in the podcasting, in the books, in these panels. So
I just got chills. Thank you. Oh, I love everybody so much.
I don't have a podcast. I'm not an avid podcast listener or sorry.
You should though.
Hot mic. I should,
You
because
should.
I do talk. I mean, I talk a lot in my pocket. I mean, I want to do a fucking podcast called Sondheim. Sondheim. That's just dedicated to Stephen fucking Sondheim. Who wants to be? Who wants to be a part of that?
We have to turn it to audience questions.
A perfect transition.
I love you. Okay, hi Caroline, I see you
love
over
that.
there. Okay, come on
Great
up. First
fit.
question. And we'll just keep it rolling quickly. Okay. Go ahead.
Hello, my
David is my next guest, and we're going beyond the OC.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Beyond the Vampire Diaries. Beyond. Okay, sorry. Okay, question.
Hello, my name is Alize, and my question is, if you could pick any character from the show to be
your sibling in real life, what character would it be?
I've never heard that. That's great. Who wants to go?
I'm going with Can.
Oh, me? Or do you mean Candace? Me.
Jenna.
That's cool.
Yeah. She said that's cool.
You hated
That's cool.
You hated
Solid
my
choice.
character. You hated John
I
so
know.
viscerally.
Someone reminded me of that
You
today,
were
and I was like,
ripping
did we? And we did.
It was like, what did John really do to Jenna?
We
Like,
could be siblings.
It was never. Yeah.
Somebody write that show. There you go.
Yeah.
It'll happen now, so
Jenna
congratulations.
and John.
And it's a
It'll
musical.
be like a Perfect Strangers type sitcom.
A song I'm kind of good.
What about you, Marguerite?
I yesterday in the panel I said if I could play any other character, I kind of wanted to play Lexi because I sort of love. I
was so
love
flattered.
Lexi, so I obviously will never play Lexi. I find that sad, but it was really well handled by a certain someone. But I'd like to be her sister. I would love to be her
that.
sister.
I think we could do that, right? I mean, we've got the short hair. I would
Yeah.
love that.
Because she seems so fun. I mean, because Shanna is a really you're like, that's a tough one. But I feel like a ride or die. Because I just feel like there would be a lot of like surprises. Like
We'd be listening to Bon Jovi
it would
all the
be a
time.
lot of dancing. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Next question over here. Hi, cutie. Give a round of
Hi.
applause for this. Tell everyone your name.
Ella?
Ella. Everyone give a round of applause for Ella. She's had a very big weekend. I know you are, honey. Take your time. So this is... It's okay. Take your time. Here, come here. I'll whisper in my ear. Come here. Okay, she has a really good question. If everyone was stranded on an island and they could only bring one movie, right, and one book? One movie or one book, what would it be? That's a
Boogie
good
Nights.
one, right? Good question.
Boogie Nights in the 10th of December by George Saunders.
Matt, what about you?
It would either have to be like Red Dawn or like The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Not, what's the one with the
There's no
volleyball?
oars, Matthew. Matthew.
Castaway.
There's no oars. Or
All right, Red
one
Dawn.
and one.
Red Dawn.
Red
right?
Dawn.
It's Red Dawn. It's Red Dawn. And then the book.
Yeah, book and movie.
You gotta Revelations.
Intense, but okay.
Intense.
Sarah, what about you?
I have another ridiculous answer because my favorite book is called Sweetland, and it's a very niche Canadian novel, and I was in the adaptation film.
That is amazing.
That's my ridiculous answer.
I love it.
It's my favorite book.
I love it. Mia, Melinda.
It comes to mind because I just saw it again, Deer Hunter. Which is,
Oh, that's a great one.
And a book, maybe, I would say, sorry, it's like everything in my life depends on giving the right answer. Sorry, I just want to, hang on, I'm going to say it. I would say Tender is the Night.
Tender is the
Nice.
Night.
Okay, Melinda.
I have two movies that I just live by. I mean, first of all, my favorite comedy of all time is Young Frankenstein. And because I saw my dad laugh at a young age and it taught me humor. I was like, he's laughing. I'm like, okay, so to this day. And also just because if I ever got stoned in high school, I would do the entire movie of All That Jazz and sing and dance. So All That Jazz is just my thing.
Yes, I love that.
But a book, it's so wild. Like, there's so many books. And for some reason, Memoirs of a Geisha just popped into my head.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Revelation. So.
No,
Yeah, go.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm by myself on this desert island. I need some comedy. So I would probably go for a comedy. It would be something old, like Philadelphia Story, like something old and funny and witty, just so that it would I just have to be lightening up.
Stimulate.
And then a book might be like a Charles Dickens book that's like whatever the longest one is that isn't sad. I'm alone. I think I need some cheering up. So I just need a lot of words that are not sad, that are kind of well strung together.
I get that. I love that. And I'm just gonna pipe in and say, if anyone knows, Laura Lynn Jackson is my favorite psychic medium of all time, and her book is called Signs. And for anyone who's lost a loved one, she talks about how you can communicate with them from the other side. And I just think it's so important to pass that message on because, again, we just have so much grief we're dealing with lost ones. So I highly recommend it to anyone, and I could read it 1,000 times over again. So Signs would be mine. Thank you.
Really good question.
Very good.
Favorite movie? Legally Blonde! You know I had to get it in there.
Just to watch myself over and over again.
Thank you, Ella.
Thank you so much.
I should have said that. Brett John.
Caroline!
Oh, no,
This is where my head's at.
Up is down, north is Swedish. What's going on?
Go ahead, honey.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and my question is for Lexi.
Oh, okay.
When did you find out that you were going to be killed in the first episode you were in?
Good question. Before I said yes to the show, actually. I know, you're shocked. Well, so Kevin and Julie called me, and they were pitching me Lexi, and the show was already filming, but it had not aired yet. And so they said, you know, so far Stefan is just moody and brooding, and we want you to come in and make him smile. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fun. I could do that. Cool, cool, cool. And they're like, and we want everyone to like see how much fun you are and how much fun you are together, and then we're gonna kill you. And Kevin was like really excited about how like they're just gonna kill me. And I was like, huh. And then I sat with it and I said, you know what, this sounds like a lot of fun. And so I actually knew before I went down there that I was going to die in episode 1. And I was very scared because I thought, how am I going to make people believe that Stefan and I have been friends for 300 years, and also that you even care that I died? I was worried that no one was going to care that I died because it was such a short amount of time. So I was really nervous about it, and to this day, it really is because of you all and Julie being awesome that I came back. That was all you. I had no idea. I was shocked. I was afraid to even watch, so that was all you. So. You were there. You were part of the death. Wait a second. You're not allowed to be my sibling. You helped kill me. It's all
I have
coming
no
back
memory
to
of
me.
that. I don't remember shooting
Wait a
Jeremy either.
minute.
It's all coming back, it's coming back to
I'm
me
really
now.
sorry. I'm sorry. You were trying to do the right thing. Okay, go ahead.
All right, my question is for everyone. I know there are people. Wow, I'm so echoey. I know there's people that are really interested in acting but don't really know how to get into it. So, what would be your guys' like advice or tips for anyone in that position?
Find an amazing acting class and stay in it like me for the rest of your life.
That's great advice.
Stage, game type experience. I mean, I'm sorry to negate that. I'm not negating it. Theater class is important, but just being on the boards, listening and responding, listening and responding, failing. 5 nights out of 7, you fail. 2 nights, you win, maybe. Yeah, fail and respond.
Melinda?
Marguerite and I were just having this conversation about how we were talking about the fact, I know, we caught up really quick at lunch, but we were just talking about the things that people, and they always ask about, and it's like, I can't teach you how to act. I mean, it's a do. You gotta do. And it's an industry of just participating. But we were discussing the thing that will keep you employed is your attitude and your professionalism and your gratitude and not comparing yourself and not being jealous of other people and taking, especially in long form television, if you're lucky enough to be a series regular or have a recurring role, you show up to work and you actually say, I have the opportunity to take some risks, make some choices that weren't necessarily in the script, do something that surprises the writers to get them inspired to continue writing for you. And I've had that experience many, many times, and that's what is my job is to keep them inspired to keep writing for me and to figure that out.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
I would say if you want to become an actor, in addition to taking class and doing theater, I think it's important to create your own work. And so you have complete control and you run the show and you don't have a boss, you're your own boss. And create a community around you of other creatives who want to make stuff with you. And I think as well, I think it's really important to understand contracts and the legalities of it, and also assume that there'll be a lot of rejection, and ask yourself, are you ready to deal with that kind of rejection and what it would do to your self-esteem and well-being?
I would second a few of these things here, which is to not compare yourself.
Which is a hard one.
Very
It's
hard
a big
to do.
one and a hard one.
Very hard to do, and to really know who you are and why you're doing it. I look back, because I started early, I look back and sometimes I wish I didn't get into the business. I feel like you should either get into the business as a young kid, or like maybe when you're a little bit older and you've traveled, maybe you just know yourself a little bit better. This is just only from my own experience. You know, I started working when I was 21, but I threw myself into a business that was a lot of comparing, a lot of rejection, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and I didn't really know myself well. And I found myself trying to please a system that doesn't want you to please it. It wants you to be your authentic self and just to be unapologetically like driven by the work and just stay on focus with the work and just know yourself as well as you can and just know it's going to be hard. It's going to take endurance and resilience, and try not to compare yourself and just keep that vision as to why you want to do it. Keep that feeling in your heart, and this is hard, don't become cynical. Don't become cynical.
That is a big one. We talked a lot about that last time. Is like constantly finding a way to reinvent your own mindset, so you stay in it, you stay positive, you stay excited.
Yeah,
Staying excited is a big one.
Our job is all about honesty. You know, it's about honesty. So when you're trying to like mold yourself or be this, be that, the honesty is the thing that sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
When people are listening and responding, I'm sorry. Are there in the moment. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, I've played with a lot of English people in my career, and most of the world still thinks I'm fucking English. I'm from Grants Pass, Oregon.
But you did a good job.
I'm from Grants Pass, Oregon. But, like, I swear to God, these limey fucks that come over and take our goddamn jobs, the Jomos.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
We're gonna stay
sorry.
positive.
Don't become cynical.
Matt, we're gonna take your advice. Stay positive. Don't be cynical.
I have something really important. Just looking at the way this industry is going, do not be a one-trick pony. If you really want to be in this industry, learn everything and have something other than acting. Because if you're sitting around, like we used to say, waiting for the phone to ring, because it's an email now. But if you're sitting around waiting, you're just gonna wait. You have to do it because you need it. You need it like you need to breathe. You know, whether you get to do film or television, that should be the icing on the cake. You might end up doing dinner theater or just doing a local play. Do it because you have the passion for it, and learn everything else about the business.
And the nice thing about technology right now is you can make your own stuff like right away. Like there's no reason for you to not write scenes, direct scenes, shoot scenes with your friends, and just get involved with it right away. And you know, acting is alchemy. It's magic, and so you have to like just keep your mind informed with all kinds of interesting, rich things that keep inspiring your choices.
That's like, I love everything everyone's saying, create your own work. The only thing I would add to that is it's kind of really that. I love the idea, travel, read stuff that's not about acting, read stuff that's not about celebrities. What are you interested in? Yeah. Are you interested in, coal miners in Appalachia during a certain era? Oh, that's great. The more you know about anything else besides acting, the better actor you will be. Yeah. So be as broad-minded as you can, read everything. And make your own stuff. I think that's so great.
Do you have any idea it was going to open up this passion?
No, the more you know,
look at what you've done.
The more you know about the culture in the world,
I can see you have not been writing this down. Like, she takes one earpiece
pot out? No, I can listen.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
All right, and we have time for one more. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
So my question is for Matt.
Yesterday you said at the panel that you wish your girlfriends would stop dying. If you could only pick one to have a happy ending, who would it be?
Dun dun dun!
I've got two of them right here. I'm gonna have to pick Jody.
How convenient.
I'm sorry.
No, I get why you would pick Jody.
Yeah, just,
Jody's
you know,
awesome.
Yeah.
We actually had such a great time with Jody last convention.
She's great.
And we were all, Mia and I have worked together outside of the Vampire Diaries, but we were like, I think I said on a panel, let's have
Which was so funny.
a dead wives panel or club or something. I don't know.
Yes, and
It's every
honestly,
wife.
I would still love to make that happen. I really would.
And I only say that to pick Joe because she did have my babies,
Yeah.
right?
With an S.
Oh, yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Okay, I have to say thank you for your question. I want to say thank you to our amazing panelists. Yes, this has been such a very, 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 very special panel. So thank you for your insight and your humor and your vulnerability. Thank you all for listening and supporting us. And I know we did run a little over. I'm sorry if we didn't get to your questions. Is it okay to reach out to you on Instagram or wherever? Okay, yeah, because I did know we had some more. So I'm sorry about that. But this was such a wonderful panel. So thank you for all the detail and emotion you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
guys.
hosting us.